I just want to say thank you all. I use my channel to cover my ass. It is my big brother. That's why I expose myself and have a lot of drama on here. Uh, at the same time, um, well, I've been accused of being considered a domestic terrorist for a long time now. And so, as I said, I've used my channel to fully disclose everything about myself to protect myself from any further allegations. Um, or accusations, prevent people from lying about me. Um, and anyways, I talk about, I also use it for a hobby because I do a lot of research, and but I get shadow bans because I do videos like this, and so I'm gonna just kind of, edit this down a little bit because it is a little bit longer than it needs to be. So yeah, just kind of bear with me. I'm not a professional and stuff, but yeah, this is so this is about adrenochrome and Epipen's cannibalism. Pretty much exactly what the hell the establishment is doing behind our backs, and just from my understandings with rituals and such, magic is that before they do anything to us, they have to tell us what they're going to do. At the very least, they have to tell us what they did after they've done it. Um, but I think it's more about the first one and stuff. You have to tell us what they're going to do before they do it. And anyways, let's continue on. So, vampirism, cannibalism, adrenochrome, uh, and let's see. Hold on a second. And more. Anyway, sorry. Damn it. Okay. All right, everybody. Maybe it took a second. All right, everybody. This is something to blow your minds, right? So this is a clip from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and just pay attention to it. All right.
Please. As your attorney, I advise you to take a hit out of the little brown bottle in my shaving kit. You won't need much. Just a tiny taste. What is this shit? That stuff makes pure mescaline seem like ginger beer, man. Adrenochrome. Adrenochrome?
Oops. It's pretty cool, and it's pretty much known for a fact these guys, especially Det, was tripping on acid during this movie.
Hi, Lucy. God bless. Yeah, it's me. Why? How? Yeah, I left him out there. I stomped him. I pulled all his teeth out. I remember thinking, Jesus, what a terrible thing to lay on somebody with a head full of acid. But we have a problem. That bastard cashed a bad check downstairs and gave you as a reference. They'll be looking for both of you. Yeah, I know, Lucy, but you can't judge a book by its cover. Some people are just basically rotten. Anyway, the last thing in the world you want to do is call this out again. They'll trace the call and put you straight behind bars. No, I'm moving to the Tropicana right away. I'll let you know what it is, and I gotta get off. I really have this phone, baby. Yeah, I know, it's horrible, but it's all gonna happen. Oh my God, there's someone at the door. There's someone at the door. Sit over here right about now. You know what we need? We need some hope.
I remember slumping on the bed. His performance had given me a bad jolt. For a moment, I thought his mind had snapped, that he actually believed he was being attacked by invisible enemies. But the room was quiet again. Where'd you get this?
Never mind, it's absolutely pure.
You see, pay attention to this shit right here.
What kind of monster client have you hooked up with this time?
Satan is a freak.
You hear that? Satanist creep.
I think there's only one source for this stuff. The adrenaline gland from a living human body.
You hear that?
I think there's only one source for this stuff. The adrenaline gland from a living human body.
I know. The guy didn't have any cash to pay me. He offered me human blood, said it would take me higher than I'd ever been in my life. Well, I was kidding.
Just remember, just pay attention. Where'd you get this? Human blood.
Never mind, it's absolutely pure.
You see, pay attention to this shit right here.
What kind of monster client have you hooked up with this time?
Satan is a freak.
You hear that? Satanist creep.
I think there's only one source for this stuff. The adrenaline gland from a living human body.
Adrenaline glands. You hear that?
I think there's only one source for this stuff. The adrenaline gland from a living human body.
I know. The guy didn't have any cash to pay me. He offered me human blood, said it would take me higher than I'd ever been in my life. Well, I was kidding. I told him I'd just as soon have an ounce of so pure ADRENOCHROME. Or maybe just a fresh adrenaline gland to chew on.
You hear that? That's cannibalism. Vampirism, cannibalism. They tell us what they're doing. And believe me, I'm going somewhere with this. You just wait. They have rules. Like, in order to perform anything, they have to tell us what they're doing. They can't lie to us. And that's why they use magic. Like part of the thing with legalese, you know, it's all about confusion and things of that nature. They speak in a different language, even though it's our words. They speak differently, and especially with Biden's press secretary, whatever is that her name? Represent the fucking Sasky P-A-S-A-K-I bitch, Pasky, whatever the fuck. She runs her mouth without even thinking. It's just blah, 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 blah. She's a witch just sat here to confuse. I'm serious. Like, it sounds freaking weird and made up or whatever else, but Saskia is a freaking a little. They're all witches. So cast a spell is to simply spell.
I feel the stuff working on me. The first wave felt like a combination of mescaline and methadone. Maybe I should take a swim, I thought.
Yes, sir. They nailed this guy for child molesting. He swore he didn't do it. Why should I fuck with children, he said. They're too small.
So, the dude, basically, yeah, alright, so, let me just sum up what, because I didn't say nicely and stuff. The guy, you know, owed Benicio del Toro, money, couldn't pay him, and so it was like, boom, you know, got the adrenochrome, or they got it from the body of a, you know, pedophile, and yeah, this is cannibalism, vampirism, ritual abuse. This is a lot of things, and that wasn't a ritual experience when I was in Corsi, Arizona, and I got attacked by witches, uh, pretty much like the hippies, like the Manson children, and I'm not even kidding about it. And that's a whole different story, but the desert's a freaking scary place, and they're in the freaking desert, right? People disappear easily, just like what heard in the beginning. When he was on the phone and stuff. So yeah. Hold on a second.
Yes, sir. They nailed this guy for child molesting. He swore he didn't do it. Why should I fuck with children? He said they're too small.
And keep in mind, this guy, and this is not to be a racist or, what I was gonna say, like what I was trying to say here that I didn't do nicely is that the desert is a scary place, and from my time living in Albuquerque, I'm telling you, freaking, Latin America is not the nicest place. I'm not trying to be racist. I don't believe in it. There's ethnic groups, and what it comes down to is that he was one of my ex-girlfriends was sexually molested from a very young age, 3 years old, and her mom's boyfriend, and he was a Latino, and so yeah, it gets weird out in the damn desert. But yeah, hold on. Oh, what I meant is where I was going at with this is with the coyotes, however one wants to call it, and human trafficking and everything of that nature. The desert, they don't talk about the road in the desert. The border patrol, police agents and stuff, they're all in on it. How do you think people get in? Because they freaking, it's all rigged. Everything is rigged. I'm telling you, freaking, like. It seriously is. I mean, I'll go into my ritual experience and stuff like that, and just like at a different point in time. But the desert is a scary place, and they act like vigilantes, and yeah. So
Extract video. Sure, that's a good idea. One whiff of that stuff will turn into something like goddamn medical examination. Beautiful fucking tits.
and apparently this stuff makes you see the devil because, well, it's not really. I mean, the devil. That's one thing. But I would say, like, from my understanding of it, it makes people have sight beyond sight, and it's just like with acid. I've never had a bad trip. There's been bad moments in trips, but I'm able to override those. That's just because people freaking ruin the vibes, right? But I think that people have bad trips because and they have to confront their guilt. They have to confront themselves, oneself. One has to confront oneself, and like that's why DMT, and that's pretty much what this comes down to. Dimethyltryptamine is, every living species has that. They actually say that's the dream drug. And so, with that being said, yeah, like people are not supposed to recreationally use hallucinogenic drugs. Oops.
Just about anything, but I'd never inhaled such a feeling of finish the fucking story! stuff got right on top of you, didn't it? Look at your face. You're about to explode. Maybe you could just shove me into the pool. If I put you in the pool right now, you'll sink like a goddamn stone. You took too much, man. You took too much. Too much. Don't try and fight it. You get brain bubbles, strokes, aneurysms. You'll just wither up and die.
Now it gets fun.
Epipens. Years after Mylan's Epipen price hike, it finally gets generic. So,
Yeah, hold on.
epinephrine, I should say. Epinephrine is a medical device for injecting a measured dose or doses of epinephrine by means of autoinjection. It is used in treatment of anaphylaxis. What is anaphylaxis? An acute allergic reaction to antigen. Adrenaline, hormone neurotransmitter, and alright. Narcan is the Epipen of heroin. The Epipen is a jolt of epinephrine into the blood. Epinephrine reduces systematic absorption of extradural diacetylmorphine.
Basically, it's an adrenaline shot.
Yeah, actually, hold on a second. Let me go. So this is a PDF file from actually, let me go back a second just so I can show you where I downloaded it from. The pen. Okay, so this is where I got it from. JACI. That's where.
Oops, sorry.
Because I'm going to click on it, it should just open right up. Yeah, instead of downloading it because it's a PDF. So this is from the FDA, and so real quick, Epipen and Epipen Jr. contain epinephrine, a non-selective alpha and beta adrenuric, I can't say that word.
Adrenochrome.
Receptor, but to agree sound. Okay, so that's on 24. Unless it was just saying it was 24 pages long. Okay, yeah. So has expiration date? No, yes. So the trainer doesn't practice information.
One of the beauties of
this
search with PDFs.
Epipen solution deteriorates rapidly on exposure to air or light, turning pink from oxidation to adrenochrome and brown from the formation of melanin. Replace Epipen and Epipen Jr. if epinephrine solution appears discolored, pinkish or brown color, cloudy, or contains particles.
I'm about to kick your fucking ass because if you're 5'5", then I'm 6'6". Well, if you're 5'5", then I'm 6'6". Well, if you're 5'5", then I'm just so freaking used to say I'm 6'6". Anyways, you're 6'6" because 6 is the atomic weight of carbon. Carbon has an atomic weight of 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, 6 protons, 666. We've got the mark of the beast. Platonic solids, well, freaking they're cubes. we've got the hex put on us because when you flat pack a cube, well, it makes a cross. But, and God is the Tetragrammaton. That says it right in the preface, Yahweh. When the only time when God is spoken of in the Bible, it's the Tetragrammaton and Yahweh. But yeah, the Bible is there's ways to interpret that thing. But yeah, if you're 555, then there's 666. I finally got it right.
When you go to Jerusalem, it's built on 7 hills. There are 60 cities around the world that are built on 7 hills. Not just Rome, but Rome is Rama. Rome is Ra. Rome wants to rule. London, El Ondon. El Ondon. El and Ra, they rule the world. And Paris, Isis. In fact, when you go to Paris, you can see the Notre Dame. Notre Dame is Isis, Mary, the Virgin. She rules Isis, Ra, and El. They are the 3 cities.
Israel. Israel. Mother Isis, Ra, the sun god. El is for the deities. El, Israel. Everything's encoded, people. Etymology, study your words. Freaking, like I said, they have to tell us. They're filling out their own prophecies. These are plans that are laid back way in the day. And that's why everything is biblical. Freemasons read the Bible and stuff. Let me just stay focused.
Rule the world. And you can add, DC, you can add Switzerland up in the hills there and all the banksters and criminals that are stopping us from knowing all this stuff. And you can add Zionism. Not this beautiful Jewish religion and Muslim religion and Christian religion. Zionism.
You see, and that's exactly it. We're all light, we're beautiful, but on with Cain and Abel.
Again, Zion comes from these ancient words. See, this is the stone that the builders rejected. It's Cancer, the summer solstice. See the checkered floor? Spirit and matter. Jerusalem, built on Mount Moriah. That's where, and in Arabic, it's Marwa. Mars. Mount Moriah. That's where Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac. And then God says, oh, you don't do that. There's a ram in the thicket. Kill the ram. You see, remember in Jericho, to pull down Jericho, you have to blow the ram's horn 7 times. Moses blew the ram's horn, killed the bull. He says, you get out of the bull territory. This was Egypt. They loved the bull and Hathor. And then they were transitioning to Aries in the 18th dynasty. And there was a big problem going from the bull to the ram. This is why the Jews, when Jacob sent his sons down to Egypt, he says, don't tell them that you are shepherds, because the Egyptians hate shepherds. You tell them you're a herdsman. You tell them that you look after cattle, because Hathor was ruling at the time. And the transit was very, very hard. The Egyptians did not like this change, because this was much more, it was closer to the glory days, and this is really descending, you see. Now we're in the time of Pisces. There's 4 wheels here that you need, fundamental wheels. The day, starting at 6 a.m., the year, starting at March, the backward processional calendar of 24 to 25,000 years, and the body, the head, Ra, Resh, the head, and the 2 feet. What have we got here? The Alpha and the Omega. Notice Omega, that's the lowercase, it's like a W. That's the lowercase Omega, Alpha and Omega. Notice the placement, Alpha and Omega. Same here. You see Amun-Ra, he's carrying Aries, the tree of Aries. Remember this M that comes here? And here there's a T, isn't there? There's the T here of the Jews. The covenant with the sun on top. The 2 trees. There they are. The Ankh and the Was.
And real quick, because I don't think I mentioned it in this. What's the pagan cross look like?
There it is, Aries. Let's see the ram. Aries, Mars, and Venus. Guy is also even, but he starts things at the head. Jesus, Alpha and Omega. Jesus, Alpha and Omega. This is Christ. This is Jesus. Jesus dies for our sins. Christ rises. If you're a Freemason, you never say Jesus Christ. You say Christ Jesus, because they know the order. Christ comes before Jesus. This is first. This is last. This is Cain. This is Abel. Cain means metal smith, iron, Mars. Cain is into agriculture. Abel is into, well, this is agriculture and this is gain. When the moon comes down into this sign, it's called a harvest moon. Harvest moon, because you harvest. When it comes to here, you always have the hunting moon. See, Cain, who kills Abel over here, the light that kills the darkness, Cain brings his harvest to God. Let's have a look at Cain and Abel, shall we? Genesis 4, 1-16, Cain and Abel. Adam made love to his wife Eve, and she became pregnant and gave birth to Cain. She said, with the help of the Lord, I have brought forth a man. Later she gave birth to his brother Abel. Now Abel kept flocks, and Cain worked the soil. In the course of time, Cain brought some of the fruits of the soil as an offering to the Lord. And Abel also brought an offering, fat portions from some of his firstborn flock. You see, because if you feed the flock well in the harvest time, if Cain does a good job and the sun shines and he's productive, the Lord will look upon his offering with favour. But if you're a good shepherd like Abel, and you're able to keep your flock nice and fat in the winter, you are the one that gets the praise. And Abel also brought an offering, fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock, and the Lord looked with favour on Abel and his offering. But on Cain and his offering, he did not look with favour. It wasn't a good year. The harvest was low. So Cain was very angry and his face was downcast. The sun, it gets irritated when he can't use his virile raw energy to produce grain. He gets saddened about this. You see, so Cain is downcast and he's thinking, I've got to kill my brother. He does better in the winter than I'm doing what am I doing? The summer crops are not working. Then the Lord said to Cain, why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it. So you see, Cain and Abel. The Lord's not happy with Cain. What does Cain do? He goes and kills his brother. Now Cain said to his brother, let us go out into the field. Come with me, let us go out into the field. And while they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, where is your brother? I don't know. He replied, am I my brother's keeper? The Lord said, what have you done? Listen, your brother's blood cries to me out of the ground. This is the ground. Now you're under a curse and driven from the ground, which opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood. The ground receives his brother's blood. When you work the ground, it will no longer yield its crops to you. You will be a relentless wanderer on the earth. Cain said to the Lord, my punishment is more than I can bear. Today you are driving me from the land, and I will be hidden from your presence. I will be a restless wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me. But the Lord said to him, no, not so. Anyone who kills Cain will suffer vengeance 7 times over. Remember 7. Then the Lord put a mark on Cain, so that the mark is the red sign. Cain is canine. It's the dog. The dog is Aries. Mars, red. That's the mark. When you see Mars, you know it's him, is red. There's only 4 red stars in the sky. Sometimes Saturn looks a bit red too. So you've got 6 dudes up there that are red. All the rest are white, yellowish stars, some are greenish, but predominantly white. But you've got 4 red stars: Antares, Betelgeuse, Arcturus the Bear, the brightest star in the northern hemisphere. You'll know about that one, the red, bright bear in booties. And the 7th, the other one is Aldebaran, the eye of the bull. Aldebaran has one. Betelgeuse in Orion has one. There's one over here in Virgo, Bootes, Arcturus, and there's Scorpio, Antares. So when you see Mars, you know that God put a mark on his head. He's clear, Mars, and he goes around fast. Saturn goes slow, 30 years. Mars goes every 2 years. So Cain went out from the Lord's presence and lived in the land of Nod, east of Eden. East of Eden. Abel means herdsman. Cain means metalsmith. I said that already. Iron. It has to do with the iron. And so, and here you have the harvest of Cain, which God wasn't happy with. And these are the moons, man. When you come to September every year, you have, before the equinox, you have a harvest moon. And then at the start of the year, you start hunting. This is where you start hunting. The hunting moon begins right on cue. None of this goes out of everything correlates to this wheel. This is the wheel. In Greek, arnion is the word that is used 30 times for lamb. Isaiah 43:26. Sweet cane. It talks about the sweet cane, the sweet cannabis. Check these scriptures out, guys. There's a lot to learn about these holy books. Cannabis is the tree of life. That's where we get a lot of cane and can words. Vatican, cannibal, can do. It's cannabis. It's all about cannabis. Cannibal is cannabis and Baal. It's a holy word. It's like festival. Carnival. The meat of Al. The feast of Al. See, when you have a festival or a carnival, it's a good time, right? Because it's a feast and it's the meat of Al. Allah. God. Jeremiah 6:20. The good cane. The good cannabis. Good on it, Bible, you rock. Ezekiel 27:19. Talking about the articles of Cassia and Cain. So check out that article. I was in Vietnam 5 years ago, and where I was.
How Youngblood might help reverse aging. Super rich using youth's blood.
Withholding comments for some reason. And, yeah. Fuck YouTube. And fuck my connection, too.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and whatnot. Like this, the audio book. Well, someone's reading it and stuff. And, alright, man. It's part of a ritual sacrifice and everything like that. And, or a ritual experience. Like, they drew my blood and, you know, they did a spell, like, whatever the fuck, right? You know, I swear that they were trying to freaking, they were trying to get me. You know, sounds really crazy and stuff, but, you know, this goes back to vampirism and Cannabilsm.
God almighty, said the Southerner. What the hell's going on in this country? You'd never believe it, said my attorney. In L.A., it's out of control. First it was drugs, now it's witchcraft. Witchcraft? Shit, you can't mean it. Read the newspapers, I said. Man, you don't know trouble until you have to face down a bunch of these addicts gone crazy for human sacrifice.
course, Arizona. And sorry, I'm like compiling two videos, and I'm sorry for talking over it. Um, my skills aren't the best and everything of that nature. I'm just trying to send it, and this I started understanding this stuff and researching this stuff um, after my experience and such, and so yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna fucking poke person other than grunt. I'm a freaking like I don't say what I have to say unless I have the backbones to form my words. So
No, he said. That's science fiction stuff. Not where we operate, said my attorney. Hell, in Malibu alone, these goddamn Satan worshippers kill 6 or 8 people every day. He paused to sip his drink. And all they want is the blood, he continued. They'll take people right off the street if they have to. He nodded. Hell yes, just the other day we had a case where they grabbed a girl right out of a McDonald's hamburger stand. She was a waitress, about 16 years old, with a lot of people watching too. What happened? Said our friend. What did they do to her? He seemed very agitated by what he was hearing. Do? Said my attorney. Jesus Christ, man, they chopped her goddamn head off right there in the parking lot. Then they cut all kinds of holes in her and sucked out the blood. God almighty, the Georgia man exclaimed. And nobody did anything? What could they do? I said. The guy that took the head was about 6'7" and maybe 300 pounds. He was packing 2 Lugers, and the others had M16s. They were all veterans. The big guy used to be a major in the Marines, said my attorney. We know where he lives, but we can't get near the house. No, our friend shouted. Not a major. He wanted the pineal gland, I said. That's how he got so big. When he quit the Marines, he was just a little guy. Oh, my God, said our friend. That's horrible. It happens every day, said my attorney. Usually it's whole families during the night.
I'm really gonna blow your fucking mind. So like freaking, like I said, like I've seen some shit, yeah, and I freaking understand some shit.
Most of them don't even wake up until they feel their heads going, and then, of course, it's... The bartender had stopped to listen. I'd been watching him. His expression was not calm. 3 more rums.
Real quick, kind of sounds like the Manson murders, right? Went into their homes at night. Satanic cult. They probably got that adrenochrome once. And Manson was like, hey, you want to know how to do it? That's how you do it. And that was pretty much it. Or, maybe, just saying.
A bad jolt. For a moment, I
This is, that scene from the movie.
thought his mind had snapped, that he actually believed he was being attacked by invisible enemies. But the room was quiet again. He was back in his chair watching Mission Impossible and fumbling idly with the hash pipe. It was empty. Where's that opium? He asked. I tossed him the kit bag. Be careful, I muttered. There's not much left. He chuckled. As your attorney, he said, I advise you not to worry. He nodded toward the bathroom. Take a hit out of that little brown bottle in my shaving kit. What is it? Adrenochrome, he said. You won't need much, just a little tiny taste. I got the bottle and dipped the head of a paper match into it. That's about right, he said. That stuff makes pure mescaline seem like ginger beer. You'll go completely crazy if you take too much. I licked the end of the match. Where'd you get this? I asked. You can't buy it. Never mind, he said. It's absolutely pure. I shook my head sadly. Jesus, what kind of monster client have you picked up this time? There's only one source for this stuff. He nodded. The adrenaline glands from a living human body, I said. It's no good if you get it out of a corpse. I know, he replied, but the guy didn't have any cash.
And that's the thing. You see, like, what I'm doing here is I'm going in reverse, too. You know, and things start making sense. They're telling me, establish the connection.
He's one of these Satanism freaks. He offered me human blood, said it would make me higher than I'd ever been in my life. He laughed. I thought he was kidding, so I told him I'd just as soon have an ounce or so of pure adrenochrome, or maybe just a fresh adrenaline gland to chew on. I could already feel the
Vampirism, cannibalism.
stuff working on me. The first wave felt like a combination of mescaline and methadone. Maybe I should take a swim, I thought. Yeah, my attorney was saying. They nail this guy for child molesting, but he swears he didn't do it. Why should I fuck with children, he says. They're too small. He shrugged. Christ, what could I say? Even a goddamn werewolf is entitled to legal counsel. I didn't dare turn the creep down. He might have picked up a letter opener and gone after my pineal gland. Why not? I said. He could probably get Melvin Belli for that. I nodded, barely able to talk now. My body felt like I'd just been wired into a 220-volt socket. Shit, we should get us some of that stuff, I muttered finally. Just eat a big handful and see what happens. Some of what? Extract of pineal. He stared at me. Sure, he said. That's a good idea. One whiff of that shit would turn you into something out of a goddamn medical encyclopedia. Man, your head would swell up like a watermelon. You'd probably gain about 100 pounds in 2 hours. Claws, bleeding warts. Then you'd notice about 6 huge hairy tits swelling up on your back. He shook his head emphatically. Man, I'll try just about anything. But I'd never in hell touch a pineal gland. Last Christmas, somebody gave me a whole Jimson weed. The root must have weighed 2 pounds, enough for a year. But I ate the whole goddamn thing in about 20 minutes. I was leaning toward him, following his words intently. The slightest hesitation made me want to grab him by the throat and force him to talk faster. Right, I said eagerly. Jimson weed, what happened? Luckily, I vomited most of it right back up, he said. But even so, I went blind for 3 days. Christ, I couldn't even walk. My whole body turned to wax. I was such...
So, that's pretty interesting. I don't know what Jimson weed is. So this forum and stuff. And yeah, it's Pizzagate. This forum is gone, I believe. It's, I'm not, or maybe they made it a subscription service. Maybe that's what it was. But you know what? I'm actually doing something that proves this shit. Men will be big when the sixth race is born into life. A new theophysic belief. 35 or 33 feet will be the average height. 3 eyes for human beings. Totally blows the lid off the theosophic New Age ideas in the late 1800s that all modern occult ideas are based off 33 feet tall is probably a wink nod to the 33-degree Masons who embrace the Luciferian doctrine of theosophy. This amazing account tells of a lady who somehow inhaled a worm or larva that worked its way into the growing in her pineal gland and made her believe she was seeing dinosaurs and mastodons and interacting with invisible entities in foreign languages. You know, so that goes to a theory that, I had that, maybe, parasites are actually the aliens. Because real
quick, invisible entities. That's happens with DMT trips, from my understanding. I never experienced that.
See that asteroids and everything of that nature can, to carry life and things of that nature. And well, we know that bacteria and things of very small organisms can live in very harsh climates. And that's the thing is, just like we see with ants, there's these bugs that, parasites that take over their minds and everything like that. It's the flute worm, I think is what it's called. And what it does is it gets ants to climb, really high up on a blade of glass, and so it gets ate by the cow. And the larva or the parasite lays eggs within the cow, or like I forget what exactly it likes grazing animals and stuff, and then it comes out in the dung and then continue from there. So you want to talk about being able to live in harsh climate conditions. Talking about living through digestive systems. And and I think that's really what we should be looking at, is looking into the parasites, the bacteria that's within us, to see if there's any of these mind control, things in there. Maybe they have a form of telekinesis, and able to transmit things. And if there's so many, and they're right around us, then they could be, disturbing our thoughts and things of that nature. So we work for them. It's entirely possible. Entirely possible. I remember when I was younger, I coughed up, I pulled a worm out of my throat. It was so gross. Yeah. Yeah. Just right. I thought it was from popcorn or something. I don't know it, but yeah, it was gross. And yeah. Anyways, this article from sorry for going on a tangent there, but going back to the growing and stuff like that. This article from 1914 explains how ground up pineal glands could be used to make 1 and 2 year old babies into giant soldiers to fight in war and replenish the troops, and old people live forever. If that is not bad enough, it includes a statue of Moloch, comparing this all to ancient pagan sacrifice. The photos and article go to show how feeding ground up pineal glands makes animals into giants. And I'll actually check this one out. I had a little bit of an issue.
You're about to get your fucking mind blown. Like, seriously, this is like, oh man, like, you should be ready to fucking nut here soon. I promise you.
Here we go. So this is from Times Dispatch. A food that does away with youth. Remarkable discoveries about glands in the brain that may enable science rapidly to turn children into men, chicks into chickens, calves into cows, to sate war's appetite for meat in men. In one of H.G. Wells' imaginative works, The Food of the Gods, he conceived a magic food which made giants of men, animals, and vegetables. Even more remarkable is the scientific discovery just brought to light, the effect of which may not only supply food for the warring nations in a manner never before conceived, but likewise furnish made-to-order men to fill up the decimated ranks of contending armies. In a word, this new scientific food eliminates youth, or rather hastens maturity. Food animals born within the past few weeks, in which an ordinary course of events would not be available as food for European soldiers for many months to come, by the application of the new discovery made available within while children who ordinarily would not be enough to fight for war. Let's see here. The pineal gland, which is indicated in the above picture of the human brain, has been found to develop growth almost miraculously when administered as food. And it looks like a little pine cone. That's why it's pineal gland. And they say that's the third eye, and it actually receives light and everything of that nature.
And if one looks at Freemason structures and stuff, like there is symbology with the pine cone and whatnot. So, and this is about the third eye awakening, and yeah, currently it's about the size of a pea, but back in the day, it used to be a lot larger. I would say like about a thumbnail in size.
I said that there was a picture of Moloch. What's it? Photograph of two chicks, each 3 weeks old. The larger one had been fed on pineal glands, while the smaller was maintained under identical conditions, but without the pineal gland administered. Oh my God. I mean, like, is this not proof? And
is that Bohemian Grove?
The extraordinary picture of war by Emo.
Speaking of glowworms,
Mars, famous singer. Victims of Moloch. The eyes open and fury juice of a monster representing war. Alright. Victims of Moloch. Into the open and fiery jaws of a eyes and juice. My fault. Wow. Wow. Okay, so does that prove cannibalism? Does that prove what I'm documenting now? There's actually science on this shit. Hold on a second. See, I'm having an issue. Okay. That's freaking crazy. Story of a blind man who could see and read his with his mind's eye, to the astonishment of audiences back in 18.
Like, seriously, freaking capture these fucking links, alright? Capture these fucking links. This article talks about blonde and brunette women being scientifically shown to act different because blonde people have pineal glands that are smaller and produce less pineal gland juice. Maybe that's why blonde hair, blue eyes is part of the master race, because they are more subservient.
96, Helena Helen Keller possessed these same powers to see through her pineal glands. He gave answers blindfolded to written questions which he had never seen. He distinguished colors. And see, this gets into I can't remember the name of the operation. But, basically the telekinesis projects done by the government.
This article from 1915 goes into how they tried feeding backward children, basically retards, pineal glands to make them smart, and how the pineal glands eaten must be from the young in order to work properly. Very creepy and very telling as to why the elite may be into abortion and sacrificing the young, because the blood and pineal glands of babies have specific chemical properties they think will make them wise and live forever.
Everything, because there's proof. And this is what journalism was actually journalism. That's why it's in, this archive. So 19 goes to show how they tried feeding backward children pineal glands to make them smart, and how pineal glands eaten must
Sorry.
in order to work properly. Okay, so now this is getting into a lot of the missing children and the late-term abortions. Okay, so abortions are pretty much human sacrifice. Without it being called that, because the thing is, if you have a seed, and you fertilize it and it starts to grow, or that's the thing, is like the germination process. Is that what it is? Begins. This is fucked up, dude. And I woke up having freaking nightmares and stuff.
Time out. I don't know if I go through, because I gotta find this other video. If it's not in this, I haven't watched this one in a little bit. But I do have a link in the description of this one, so I might be able to find it real fast. Unless it's just sending me on a circle. But this article from 1776 is a first-hand account of a guy who seems to accidentally come across a secret letter from a group of learned men who claimed they knew secret information about the pineal gland, being that the seat of the soul. Sounds like some Freemasonry. They had acquired a box of snuff. Well, if you even whiff it, get you growing tits on your back or whatever else, right? Remember snuff? That's you put up your nose. Anyways, the tobacco. With remarkable properties which allowed a person to indwell inside the soul of another person and instantly know all their thoughts and memories. How, if this is not evidence that there is something behind the pineal gland, mind control, and the coming transhumanist hive mind? I don't know what it is. The guy goes to claim that he snuffed this powder. It sounds like me. I'll try it. Fuck it. I got nothing else to do. And went on to indescribable journeys where he basically entered into the minds of other people through their pineal glands. 1813, talking about the use of philosophical snuff.
About this stuff, but just having nightmares, and I freaking can't go back to sleep, and just came across this shit. So this article from 1776 is hopefully this, I know how to do my research and stuff, and the thing is, I've experienced, I got out of that shit. I got out of a very bad, it was a very crazy fucking ritual and shit. And, and like I said, and this just confirms a lot of the fears and thoughts I had running through my mind that day, like that event. And because I knew what was going to happen if I didn't maintain discipline. Alright? Take care, be safe, be kind, stay strong. I love you all.
Who's ready to fucking come? You ready to fucking come? I'm gonna make you fucking come. You ready to fucking come? I'm not lying to you. I wasn't lying to you. I mean, I'm doing my best and like freaking. Hey, I don't doctor shit. You see my freaking crude fucking videos on like how I just freaking do them and things like that. I'm not technologically savvy. I'm just a freaking disgruntled vet that's been accused of being a terrorist. And well, because I know how to think, I know how to put the dots together, and well, I'm an infantryman with a brain that scares the shit out of people. I turn my rifle into a pen, and I really need people that can work keyboards. To be honest with you, I gotta do, like I'm trying to do some of these other efforts. I can't do it all by myself. Like I said, my channel is about protecting myself. I know, like, I mean, I've got some good stuff on there. I've got some horrible stuff. I mean, I just disclose myself. It's an outlet for me. And it pisses me off that the internet is under attack because the internet is the most powerful weapon right now because it's our minds. And they're trying to steal our minds from us. They're using algorithms against us instead of using algorithms to put like-minded people with each other. Well, they've realized like, hey, we can't do that. We gotta disrupt this because and put people into other groups. We need to find out their hates, their dislikes, we need to start divide and conquer. That's the best strategy, and the internet is allowing them to do that. They've, like I said, with witchcraft, they're using spell books. These are spells. If a line of code is a spell, there's no other way to put it. And the thing is that they've got these spell books called Microsoft and freaking Apple, and operating systems. All right. So I'm not, like I said, technologically savvy and things of that nature. And I am a fucking drama queen. I've got my ass kicked. I've lost everything. I'm homeless right now. I'm living in hotels, okay? That's the bottom God honest truth. Everything that's going on right now is stuff that I experienced personally, firsthand, years ago. And I'm trying to do my best to freaking make certain that no one else has to endure those hardships. And so, sorry, this is the transition of a freaking veteran. Combat veteran. Medic retired. Combat veteran. I retired 45 days short of my 4 years and got my 20 years in, well, less than 4 years. I'm doing better than 90% of this country and the world. I mean, maybe even more of the world because freaking, I get paid, and I have health care. Like I said, I retired when I was 28. I'm not in this for the money, the fame, the glory. I'm in it because freaking I'm a fighter. I've got to earn my retirement, and service to self is service to others. The service to others is service to self. And maybe I am just self-righteous. I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to do my best to protect people. And if that's my ego, then well, shit. What's your ego?
So, reprinted from Transactions of the American Gynecological Society. So, the pineal gland's influence upon growth and differentiation, with particular reference to its influence upon prenatal development. Pineal gland's influence. Introduction, a cursory review of recent work pertinent to the pineal functioning. The evidence that linked pineal body with a glandular function are much less definite than for such glandular organs such as the thyroid, hypophysis, ovary, and other supranals. Oh my God, I'm not a doctor. Doubt is frequently expressed that the pineal body is more than a functionless vestige of what was once, in earlier evolutionary stages, a functioning eye. Pretty interesting. A functioning eye. Other observations have led to the contention that the pineal, through metamorphosis, has become a highly specialized tissue that serves the body in a manner comparable with the major members of the endocrine system. So the purpose of the paper is to group the essential findings from the recent literature into a concise, unbiased resume, adequately expressing the status of the pineal body as a functioning organ. To this are added the writer's more recent observations upon the growth of young animals under the influence of pineal materials. The pineal gland is situated in the brain beneath the skull. There will be the occasional. These publications may be summarized by indicating complete cytological study in several species allow the inference that the pineal body is glandular in nature. Glandular elements, however, are few and illy defined. So, the gland undergoes evolution changes begin in the human as early as the 7th year. Evolution.
I haven't checked this out since I've made them and such, but the 7th year, that's why, well, how many missing children had come about? We heard about, like, that story with the chick at the McDonald's, right? 16-year-old, right? In broad daylight, brutes. There's evidence of pineal gland simulating growth.
Is announced as puberty degeneration. Degeneration is, however, not complete, and the histologic picture of the adult gland is not such as to remove the possibility of a continued functioning in the adult life. Pineal neoplasms and resultant functional disturbances. Tumors of the pineal are not a frequent occurrence. There are a few constitutional, under the designation, a group of manifestations attributed to the derangement of the pineal glandular functions. This constitutional syndrome consists of first, early sexual maturity evidence in enlarged sexual organs, pubic hair, general body hair, early change in voice. Second, precocious mental development evidenced in the maturity of thought and speech. Third, general body overgrowth to the extent that a child of 5 or 6 years may have the appearance of a child of 11 or 12. Frank Hochberg similarly has...
Well, so basically this turns freaking children into adult predators because, well, they're maturing faster. Right? And so they had the minds of these children, but they had the bodies of adults, and that's why the elite they don't send their children to public schools, right? Do they? No, in these Ivy League schools, that's an indoctrination system, just like the Freemasons. And I don't think no one really talks about the Order of the Eastern Star. Look at their crest. That's the female version of the Freemasons. And the only way to get into the Order of the Eastern Star is to be involved with someone in the Freemasons of a higher level. And there's badge, their icon, their sigil magic. It's a pentagram. Just like the Freemasons, they have the square and compass. These two, and as above, so below, the compass, right? And then if you actually make a triangle with that, that's a Star of David. You connect the dots, all right? And then when one goes into the Bible, because the Freemasons are extremely biblical. When I went to their Freemason, when I was in Colonial Beach, I went to a Freemasons lodge. I saw a light on. I walked over there and I had my notebook and stuff, and I was like, and I got to sit down and talk with them because started showing things like, is that the Pyramid of Giza? And I said, yes and no. Excuse me. you know. And because you guys see I understand some things. I decode, and sat down with them, with a guy, and because they were actually preparing for the dinner the next night, that I got invited to, and I actually went, a $10 cover, and this was an old building. I mean, it actually there was a picture of George Washington with water damage right above the mantle and stuff. I mean, it was an old building and everything, and Colonial Beach, Anyways, when I mentioned that the Statue of Liberty is Lucifer, you say, yeah, you're right. So, because Lucifer is not bad, and that's the thing is that they want to teach us like, stay away from the devil. No, like the devil is temptation. We're supposed to follow Jesus, and the thing is that, or pardon me, I said that wrong. Saying this, our lesser mind. That's like the Lower Testament. We think our loins, it's about survival, procreation, mate, feed, kill, repeat. It's the lower loins. Whereas, but we're supposed to think like God, and it's supposed to be like we're better than this. We have, we have a heart, we have morals, we have conscience, and that's the thing is that Jesus tells, Jesus and Lucifer, share the same plane. They're, essentially. It's duality. The unity of the duality makes the Holy Trinity. And, geez, let me just continue on with this. But they're teaching us wrong. The Bible, let me just say one more last thing. In the Bible, all right, so Genesis, the book of Genesis, etymology, as we've learned in this video, genealogy of Mother Isis. It all goes back to Egypt. And then in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. In the beginning, that's time. Heaven, that's space. Earth, that's matter. That's a big bang. There's more to it.
Summed up the above characteristics of this pathological state. He says when one finds in a very young individual, along with the general symptoms of a tumor as well as the signs of a lesion of the corpora quadrate, part of the brain, I guess, abnormal body growth, unusual growth of hair, adiposity, oh my, okay, anyway. Of the 70 cases at the present time available in this literature, only 25 occurred prior to puberty. Because of this pineal involution that occurs by the time of puberty, only in these 25 cases are constitutional manifestations to be anticipated. It is significant that with 2 exceptions, all cases occurred in boys. Many cases of pineal tumors before puberty manifest none of the signs of precocity of development that are so striking. A few selected cases study clinical material reveals how little consideration has been given to the possibility of pluroglandular involvement. In fact, some early cases of necropsy demonstration of the pineal tumor led to the association of all prior metabolic changes to pineal function perversion. Thus grew out prevalent conception of the endocrine. So, yeah. So that's where the pineal gland is, everything. So, following removal of pineal, I observed no sexual porosity or indolence, no animosity and mastication, and mental retardation. Where these 2 events are how indicate data bearing upon explanation as a method of approach pineal functions. So this is comparison of the effect of the sperm gland pig uterus and So, under, let's see, trying to find, hold on a second. Okay, so fed pineal materials to young animals, kittens, rabbits, guinea pigs, and noted a 25% excess in weight over controls. And these investigators sought to determine the extent of stimulating influence upon children of low mentality. 50 feeble-minded children were treated and suitably controlled with other children of the same age and diagnosis. Binet tests were the criteria of mental advancement. No physical changes resulted, but on prolonged treatment, the mental development was greater than that prior to treatment, and excess of controlled children of the same mental age. These studies on feeble-minded children afford certain technical evidences of value, but quantity of improvement resultant is not sufficient to warrant any widespread use of pineal materials as a profitable treatment of feeble-mindedness. Bonner studying the influence upon the growth of the various ductless glands, including thyroid, thymus, and pineal. Results would indicate that none of these glands have any consistent effect of growth rate on young rats. Experiments at the same velocity of development usually attributed to pineal deficiency. Yeah. So, the transformation of a tadpole into a miniature frog within 1 week, whereas normally the metamorphosis consumes from 4 to 6 months. This phenomenon is due to the intense differentiated action of the thyroid. Similarly, thymus tissues retards differentiation of tadpoles at the development, wherein normally tadpoles begin to differentiate. Thymus-fed tadpoles continue to grow larger without differentiation. Vastly, but so in early records of the influence exerted by pineal upon development, we employed young animals, chicks. If an experiment is open to her, then normally such animals individual variations. Hold on a second. Okay, so just pretty much sum up the experiment. The inference is the pineal materials, when added to the culture medium of the unicellular organism, paramecium, determines a more rapid rate of reproduction. For the individuals of single laying, fairly constant is the occurrence of such changes as the button of the hind legs, or with the subsequent formation of the different portions of the hind legs, the closing of the gills, the extrusion of the forelegs, the assumption of terrestrial life. Such are the phenomena we sought to influence by the introduction of pineal gland materials into the living water of the tadpoles. So, results of feeding pineal gland to young guinea pigs of the same age. Animals to the left controls, animals to the right pineal fed. Interesting. So, was a clear sense of tadpoles taken from the same lot, photographed simultaneously after 2 weeks of laboratory feeding. Group to the right fed small amounts of dissociated pineal gland tri-weekly. Group to the left fed equivalent amounts of dissociated muscle tissue. Wow. Drawings made at weekly intervals indicating the rate of metamorphosis. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay. The drawings made at weekly intervals indicating that the rate of metamorphosis. The tadpole fed tissue in comparison with normal metamorphosis. Pineal, the small figure to the right, maybe a G representing stages of development, the hind legs, and a rest. So, okay, oh, blast it. It's fun, actually. So, American Medical Association, in relation to, so, check out that article because I'm not a subscriber, but, 17th century philosopher Rene Descartes, I guess, thought the pineal body was a seat of the rational soul. Some 1400 years before him, the Greek physician Galen believed it was a valve to regulate the flow of thoughts out of the storage in the brain. Many 20th century scientists scoffing at these outmoded ideas decided that the pineal body in humans had no important function at all. New scientific evidence shows that pineal performs some very important tasks, though these are quite unrelated to the ideas of Galen and Descartes. The pineal body is sometimes called pineal gland, is a small structure near the center of the brain, though it's not actually part of the brain. White or pinkish gray color. It is about a quarter of an inch long and shaped like a pine cone, pinea in Latin.
That's what my dick looks like.
From which it takes its name. And, anyways, use your thoughts. It weighs less than 1/100th of an ounce. New evidence indicates the pineal body is a powerful factor in hormonal changes that usher in adolescence. It seems to work through a hormone it secretes called melatonin that inhibits the chemistry of sexual maturation. The pineal body is believed to be the human's body only source of melatonin. And research seems to show that melatonin production in early childhood keeps the reproductive system quiescent. I don't know. Actually, it's for the embryonic brain, but been accumulating slowly for many years. In 1898, German physician Otto Hütter discovered that a 4-year-old boy who suffered a premature sexual maturity had a tumor in or near his pineal. Many similar cases have been found. Since reviewing them, scientists concluded that tumors so near the pineal that they hampered its function and caused early while those rare tumors in which pineal issues were abnormally seemed to delay the onset of adolescence. So, there is stuff.
The pineal gland, ADRENOCHROME. Anyways, I'm gonna conclude this. I'm sorry for not making better videos or making this a little bit more well informed or whatever else, but I don't really know how to make freaking research sexy. This is fucking. But I hope y'all came a little bit. Friggin', this should get you feeling all kinds of tingles and everything. But thank you for stopping by and checking me out and everything like that. I'm not the best content creator out there or anything like that, but I'm 100% real. I talk about things that are unconventional and go through shit, and I have a lot of just documented situations that I've been in, and but please share this. Sorry for bringing myself up in this, whatever else, but I just want to let y'all know that most of my shit's not like this, but this is how deep I'll go I mean, even deeper and stuff too. I mean, it's about trying to find the truth and doing the research and everything like that. So, anyways, be safe, be kind, stay strong. I love you all. Epstein didn't kill himself. 9/11 was an inside job, and Bill Clinton is a rapist.